Hi, I'm Judith Light, and this is
Lauria.
And we're here to answer your questions. We're here at Broadway.com, and we are on Broadway right now doing a play at the Circle in the Square Theater called Lombardi.
I play her husband.
That's right, and I play his wife.
There you go.
Good.
All right.
You go
do I go
first.
first? This is from Jordan.
Okay.
Does any of your soap opera experience come in handy when you're playing Marie Lombardi?
Every experience I have had as an actor helps me portray Marie Lombardi, because I always feel that it's cumulative. The work that you do makes you a better actor over time, and so all of those experiences have helped me.
She can run for president. All right, you're up.
It's true, Pop. No,
Yeah.
we were on the soap opera together too.
Yeah, 30 years ago.
That's right. Don't tell them how many years ago.
Wow, we were child stars.
That's right. You were a child star.
Okay.
This is from Madison. I read that you're a big James Cagney fan. Will you do an impression of him?
Now on camera, I'm not. I don't do impressions of Cagney, although.
Oh, do who you do an impression of, Pop?
Well, I used to loop for Peter Falk.
Do Peter Falk.
Peter Falk. Dan, that's one hell of a play you're doing there. That's very good.
That's very good, Poppy. That's very good.
See? Okay, this is from Grace. Tell us about the most fabulous outfit you got to wear in Ugly Betty.
Oh wow! Oh my gosh, there were
She loves this one.
Oh, I do. There were so many of them, and we had Patricia Field, who did all the costumes for Sex and the City, do our costumes for Ugly Betty. She had done the pilot, and then we moved to LA, and we had a wonderful costume designer there named Eduardo Castro, and he did some great stuff. Yeah. But then when we came back, we had some very outrageous things. I would have to say it was oh gosh, I can't even really think. It was just one time I was in the costume room with Pat, and she put some very plain dress on me, and then she said, okay, give me that belt and give me those feathers and give me that piece of jewelry, and she just put this whole thing together, and it was pretty magnificent. Another one was a great suit that I had, and she put some sort of Edwardian kind of lace blouse with a great necklace and a fabulous hat, and I mean, just endless amounts of outfits.
Sounds good. I never get those fancy things. I usually get prison garb or something, or policeman's got, you know.
Right.
So.
Or like a nice sport jacket, like Lombardi.
That's not that nice.
Let's not go there.
Well, he wasn't a fashion plate.
That's right.
Yeah.
Although my costumes in Lombardi
Your
are pretty
costumes
great. They're
are
pretty
great.
great.
Lombardi.
Go,
Oh, it's me.
Pop.
I'm up, right?
Yeah.
From Brian, what's in all of Marie's drinks on stage? What is your own favorite drink?
What's in Marie's drinks on stage is water and very weak iced tea.
Yeah.
Right. And the reason that they make it weak is because if we were drinking as much as we're drinking on stage for both of us, you could have too much caffeine. So they really keep that at a minimum. And
there's no intermission.
And there's no. That's exactly right. And there's no intermission. What's my favorite drink? I like a lot of different stuff. I love really great wine. Stop laughing.
I'm not saying anything.
You are. I can hear you. I love really great wines, and now that I'm playing Marie, it's really interesting. I'll have a Manhattan now and then.
Because we say it so often.
We say it so
right?
often, and people leave there and they come up to me and they say, "Oh my God, I can't wait to get to go have a drink," or a really great vodka martini, not terribly dirty, from Katie. Sweet. The Wonder Years always made me cry. Can you think of any specific episodes that got you choked up?
Well, we had a lot of good ones.
That's why you got the Emmy.
We got a lot of Emmys. Yeah. We always won the Emmy for writing every year. We won. But the one where my daughter went off to college and I gave her my duffel bag from the Korean War.
Love that.
That was
That's one of my favorites.
Olivia and I, Dava, we broke up on set. The crew was crying. Everybody was crying. So that was my favorite one.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of good ones. You know.
Yeah. Hard to choose, but that was a beauty. I love that one too. From Lauren, who were your childhood acting icons growing up?
Well, I loved old movies, still do. You know, I watched all the great ones, but as I got into business, my two icons were Jack Klugman and Charles Dern. They're like my dads. They were there opening night.
Yeah.
Jack's 89.
You were ringed for that.
Yeah, and
That
Charlie's
wasn't so easy.
88. But I learned a lot from them. And they both told me the same thing. Never leave the stage, no matter where your career goes. Never leave the stage.
From Jeff, did you feel a special attachment to the Packers in the playoff run this year, even though you are a Giants fan? Did any quotes from Vince come to mind during any of the games?
Of course, we all felt close to the Packers.
Yeah.
After the Packers lost to Detroit
We were
early in the
scared.
year, and then they followed with a great game, but lost to New England. It didn't look good, so we were just shocked when they got in. But once they got in, we were pulling for them. But during the game, the one quote that came to me during the third quarter was, "What the hell is going on out there?" All right, this is from Michael. Would you ever like to do a show on Broadway with your Who's the Boss co-star Tony Danza? If so, what show?
I would love to work with Tony Danza anywhere, anytime.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Most people don't know that I did 3 movies of the week with
I
Tony,
know.
and I played his brother on Family Law. He's a great
Oh,
guy,
that's
right?
right.
Yeah,
That's
Tony's a good guy. He's
He
a
is
hard
great.
worker.
He is, boy. He
Yeah.
is committed.
All right, this is from Emily. Now that you have experienced football through the eyes of Marie, are you more interested in the sport? Did you watch the Super Bowl?
I am completely interested in the sport. I am shocked at myself how interested I am in it. And actually, part of it is because I've learned a lot from Dan about the sport, and I understand it from a whole different perspective than I ever before. It was just
When we started to play, she got the book Football for Dummies.
I did because I didn't know anything about it. I really wasn't interested, and so for me now, I watch games. Yes, I watch the Super Bowl. I mean, and I was just as nervous as everybody else about it because I really wanted the Packers to win. But I find that I'm surprising myself. I watch myself and I go, is this you?
Yeah, right.
You're reading the sports section of the New York Times, reading about football? And it's just, but it's because, you really taught me a lot about it. I went into his dressing room one time and I said, can you explain offense and defense to me and blitzing so that I understand what this is?
what's in
And he
the
did,
play,
and so
right?
now, so now I understand.
Yeah.
That was great. From Deidre, did you get to meet Robert Pattinson while filming the new movie Water for Elephants? What's he like?
Well, if you see the movie, obviously I met him because
Yes,
my
that's
one
your scene.
scene is with him. It's a nice scene, so I heard it's in the trailer. He's
great, is
Yeah,
it?
he's very shy,
Yes.
and he, I'll be quite honest with you, I felt very sorry for him. They were police all around the place. He never had a moment to himself.
Wow.
He was. There were girls screaming, ruining one of the shots. We had to have the police move them back. And he asked me what I was doing next. I said I was going to do a play. He told me he had never done a play.
Right.
So I invited him, and I could see he was worried.
Yeah.
I said, if you want to go, here's my number. You call me. We'll sneak you in some night. You can come in the back way and all that. Now, I haven't heard from him, but I have a feeling if he comes to New York, he's going to do it.
That would be so great.
He's very, very quiet, very shy.
Yeah.
From Mark, do you ever watch yourself on weekend Law and Order marathons on cable?
No, I don't, because I don't have time. Particularly now we're doing the play. We do a show tonight, which is Friday night, and then we'll do 2 shows tomorrow, and then we'll do another one on Sunday, and it's Sunday matinee. So, no, I really don't get a chance to watch it that much. But I do try to watch it, or at least get a DVD of it once we've done the show, so that I can see it. It's such a good show.
Yeah, I never watch myself, so I don't know. I haven't seen most of the Wonder Years on there.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of them did. Fonda couldn't watch himself. Henry
Yeah,
Fonda
I have
couldn't.
trouble watching myself, but I try to make myself watch myself so that I can see things I've done that don't work and stuff like that. From Tiffany, what's the worst job you ever had? What's the best one? You better say the best one is, Poppy.
Oh, Lombardi, of course. What? Do they mean jobs in our profession?
I don't know, darling. I'm not Tiffany, so I don't know what she means. But what's the
Because
worst?
the worst job I ever had nothing to do with
What was
the
it?
business.
What was it?
I was a waiter for one night. I got fired because I refused to serve a guy with a Nixon button.
Yeah. We're not going to go. We're not going there. We're not doing
I'm just
politics.
telling you, that was the worst job I ever had. So I hated that, so I washed dishes in the back. I rather wash dishes. I didn't have to deal with those nuts. From Miranda, during Who's the Boss, you often showcased your talent for dancing. Would you ever consider competing on Dancing with the Stars? And I would like to ask, would you ever consider doing a musical? Because I heard you sing.
I don't think that I would consider doing Dancing with the Stars. I don't think I'm good enough to do that. And I'd have to say that I think it would. There were so many things I said I would never do. So I'm not going to say I would never do it. I said I'd never do a soap opera, and I said I'd never do a sitcom, and I said I'd never move to California. So I'm not, I'm not going to say I'm never going to do Dancing with the Stars, but it's very highly unlikely that I would, primarily because I
don't have that problem. They would never ask.
Maybe you and I could do it together.
Oh, that would be funny.
That's the comedy version, right?
Dancing with the Schlubs or something.
Exactly,
I don't know.
exactly.
Yeah.
And yes, I would consider doing a musical. So thank you for asking.
Yeah,
I
you
would.
should. I
Thanks.
think you should. She's got a great voice.
Thanks. From Gina, do you prefer to play football, coach football, or act football?
Well, act now. No, but I played and I coached.
I know.
When I was younger. I mean, I love.
Do you ever play now?
Are you kidding? I can barely make 8 shows a week. So let's play
You're
football.
doing just fine.
No, football's very hard.
I bet you were a great coach.
I loved coaching. I hated teaching. It was at my old high school. It was not a good teacher because the kids would say, "I don't want to learn this." I'd say, "Okay, let's sit down and talk." But on I had just come out of the Marine Corps, so I was a little bit like Lombardi when I was coaching. But I loved it. I loved coaching. That was my big decision in life, whether to act or.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, or go to. I had a chance to go to the University of Iowa for my MFA in playwriting.
That's where Tony went.
Yeah, it's a great
yeah.
writing school, but as a graduate assistant to the football coach.
No kidding.
So I probably, I knew if I did that, I wouldn't get back to the theater, and I'd probably be a defensive coordinator somewhere now. I love defensive football. It's like chess. I was trying to show you that when you watch.
Right.
If you approach the game like chess, you like it. You enjoy it.
Well, that's why when you taught me all that stuff, it made so much sense to me. Then once you're educated, it's like with anything, you find it much more interesting.
Right, and that's what Lombardi was great about, his understanding of the game. I mean, he taught physics, chemistry, so he approached football the same way. His teams were the best coached.
Thank you so much for all these questions. We really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you, Broadway.com, for having us, and I hope to see you all at Lombardi.
Circle in the Square Theater.
Bye-bye.
Bye.